Mexico is still engulfed in chaos, shootouts, and fires after the elimination of the notorious drug lord Nemesio Oseguera, known as El Mencho. But today, details of the operation to capture the drug lord have emerged. Mexican authorities, summing up the operation against the cartel, stated that Mexico's most wanted narco-terrorist was betrayed by his lover. It is reported that after his lover visited his residence in the forests of Mexico, Mexican special forces arrived there the next day. But that's far from all the details of the operation against the drug cartels in Mexico. For example, photos and videos have appeared showing cartel militants armed to the teeth, using military weapons, riding in armored vehicles, and even possessing missile systems. And sometimes these militants look even better equipped than the soldiers of some national armies. In general, we'll go over all the details in this episode. My name is Alex Pichi. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start this episode, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and leave any comment under this episode. Also, subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pichi News. The link is in the description of this video. There we publish breaking news as it comes in. So the Mexican authorities have sent thousands of military personnel to the western state of Jalisco after unrest broke out due to the death of drug cartel leader Nemesio Oseguera, known as El Mencho. About 2,000 more people were additionally deployed to the region with the task of suppressing the protests. The total number of troops in the state has now reached 10,000 people, and here it is. The Mexican Minister of Defense, Ricardo Trevilla, clarified that the deployment of 2,000 additional military personnel to Jalisco is not just patrolling, but a strategic operation to suppress the militants' uprising. The unrest began after the elimination of Mexico's most wanted criminal, the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, Nemesio Oseguera, known as El Mencho. Relying on precise intelligence and air support, elite units of the Mexican Army and National Guard surrounded Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes in his fortified hideout. During the fierce clash, the cartel leader sustained fatal injuries and died during an emergency evacuation, putting an end to the story of a man for whose capture the US and Mexican authorities had offered $15 million. But it is also worth noting that the death of El Mencho instantly triggered a chain reaction of violence that swept over more than half of Mexico's states. Left without their founder, the Jalisco New Generation gunmen switched to a tactic of total terror, trying to demonstrate that the organization remains combat capable. By the way, these gunmen are now actively using drones with drop mechanisms, trying to carry out carpet bombings of entire areas to drive out civilians and the military and essentially take control of those areas. Within hours after the confirmation of El Mencho's death, key highways in the country were paralyzed by gunmen. In this way, these gunmen sought to isolate entire regions from federal forces. The New Generation Cartel is considered the fastest growing and most aggressive criminal organization in the world. Its numbers are estimated at up to 33,000 active members in Mexico alone. The cartel is present in 28 out of 32 Mexican states. It effectively controls the country's key port, Manzanillo, through which precursors from Asia arrive for the production of synthetic drugs. The group operates in more than 100 countries around the world with strong positions in the US, Europe, Australia, and Southeast Asia. Its annual turnover amounts to tens of billions of dollars, and in just one court case in the US against El Mencho's son, more than $6 billion were confiscated. And that's just a small part. Overall, the cartel has turned into a full-fledged paramilitary organization in recent years. Its arsenal has long gone beyond ordinary pistols and assault rifles, and now it uses equipment and technologies typical of modern local wars. The militants are armed with pickup trucks equipped with machine gun turrets, spike drop systems, and reinforced ram bumpers for breaking through checkpoints. Some models of armored vehicles are even equipped with remote fire control, and the cartel has also begun to widely deploy FPV drones. They have weapons capable of destroying armored vehicles and even aircraft. And, for example, criminals are regularly found with RPG-7s and even American M72 law launchers. But now the cartel's story may be coming to its logical conclusion. Today, the Mexican authorities explained how they managed to find El Mencho and eliminate him. And it turned out that a visit from one of the infamous drug lord's mistresses helped law enforcement track him down. This ultimately led to his arrest and death. According to the Mexican Ministry of Defense, El Mencho died in a helicopter after being wounded during a Mexican Special Forces operation in a wooded area near the city of Topalpa in the western state of Jalisco. The Mexican Minister of Defense, Ricardo Trevilla, stated that information from a trusted source, one of Oseguera's mistresses, made it possible to quickly plan the raid the day after her visit to his estate. During the assault, Oseguera's gunmen opened fire on the security forces, after which the fighting moved to a complex of houses in the forest. Oseguera himself and 2 of his bodyguards were wounded and evacuated by helicopter to Mexico City, but all 3 died on the way. At the scene of the operation, the security forces seized rifles with grenade launchers, rocket-propelled grenades, and mortar shells. The Attorney General's Office of Mexico reported that it is carrying out procedural actions in 14 states, which is almost half of the country. But, as I already mentioned, the death of Oseguera triggered a massive wave of violence and revenge. It has already been officially announced that 25 members of the Mexican National Guard have died who were killed after the elimination of El Mencho. According to the Ministry of Defense, the attacks in Jalisco were coordinated by Oseguera's right-hand man and chief financiers. Known as El Tuli, he also died during a clash with law enforcement officers who later tried to detain him. As reported by the authorities, El Tuli offered a reward of $1,000 for killing each serviceman. And once again, Mexican officials emphasized that American intelligence helped determine Oseguera's exact location, but the operation itself was carried out exclusively by Mexican forces. The President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, stated, quote, "No American military personnel participated in this operation. There was only an exchange of information. For his part, U.S. President Donald Trump has already called on Mexico to fight drug cartels even more actively. I'll leave it at that." Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you found this episode interesting and useful, you can support the work of this YouTube channel financially with your donation or subscription using the links and details in the description of this video or by scanning the QR code on your screen. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.